Matty, start the ball rolling with you. The average fan out there believes that rugby league players have never been better paid, and they're probably going all right. Yeah. What are they actually after? What's this dispute about?
Well, I can say that there is a huge divide between the people who are running the game and the major stakeholders, who are the clubs and the players. And from the players' end, the three players I want to point out straight away who have been the most vocal, James Maloney, Cooper Cronk, and Cameron Smith. Now, these three men have probably the least stake in this because they're at the back end of their career. They're done. For what they're pushing for, there's really nothing really in it for them that much, apart from a legacy.
Yes.
A lot of this is about going forward. It's about the future, and it's about propping up the bottom end of the game. And I'll talk about what they are in a second. Now, when I talk about the huge divide that is occurring between administration and the stakeholders, is that there have been promises over the years from people within the NRL to streamline administration costs, okay, to save money so the clubs get more, and it goes into things such as grassroots, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it's blown out. Yeah, they've wasted money on consultancies, poor decisions, and mate, the clubs and the players, they're just fed up with it, to be totally honest here. Now, what they're pushing for is they're pushing for things such as the minimum salary to be pushed up from $85,000 a year to $120,000 for an NRL player. They're after a gradual salary cap increase, ending up to $9.9 million, which will take a few years to get there. This one I think is really important, something I'm passionate about. Payments for Indigenous All-Star players and for the Prime Minister's $10,000. I don't know what they're getting at the moment, maybe a couple of grand, but I would extend on that. I would extend on the fact that I think Pacific Island nations such as Fiji, Papua New Guinea, and Tonga, Samoa, they should have a greater stake. And I think the NRL should encompass those guys and encourage people like Semi Radradra and Vunivalu to play for Fiji and other players to play for Tonga and Samoa, in the fact that they can be remunerated the same way if they were playing for Australia. They want test payments at the top level to go from $20,000 to $35,000, and things such as private health insurance. Now, I don't think all of those things are over the top, Gus.
No.
Now, at the moment, what has really irked the players is the NRL came out and misrepresented the players in an email to the clubs saying, look, sending it out to the clubs saying, this is what the players are after. But as Cooper Cronk came out and said, no, we're not after those things. You've totally misrepresented what we're after here. It was a tactic to try to get the clubs on side with the game as opposed to getting on side with the players. It backfired. Okay. Now the clubs are in the players' corner saying, we're with you guys 100%. This, I tell you where this is going. The current administration, the people who are running the game, they just can't survive this.
So John Grant, people like that.
Well, Matty's last point there is exactly what I was going to say. Look, we spoke to Todd Greenberg at the Warwick a couple of weeks ago. Affable bloke, good family man, but not the man that run the game. John Grant, same.
Is he running the game? Who is running the game?
Who knows?
That's what I'd love to know. Is it John Grant?
Who knows?
Is it Greenberg?
All I know is that we're in trouble. At the moment, we can't sell out Suncorp Stadium for the first Origin game. I think that the NRL and the RLPA both on other sides of the ledger, obviously, but the NRL claims it's not a pay dispute, it's a negotiation. But of course it's a pay dispute because the players like Cameron Smith and Cooper Cronk and James Maloney wouldn't come out in an Origin week to vent when they've got such a big game around the corner if they didn't think it was so passionate. We're in trouble. We
need to listen to Cameron Smith. I don't like Cameron Smith.
We need someone to fall on their sword. That's what we need. We need someone, because at the moment, Grant and Greenberg aren't working together. So whichever one's got to go, one of them or both of them have to go. We need more. We need someone in there who's going to get this game where it should be. Like with all this money we're getting from Foxtel and Channel 9, how can we be broke? How can we be broke?
Well, the thing about it is, what the players are really pushing for, they're at the moment, they've threatened in the past to have strike action. Now they're really getting serious. They're starting to get serious.
What does that mean, strike action? Does that mean they're not going to turn up next week for their clubs?
It'll be when the World Cup comes around, which the game is pouring money into and a big promotion for the game, is that they will get together, the Australian side, with some of the Pacific Island nations who are pushing for better deals and things like that, and I'll just say, we ain't turning up. It's off.
And that's a last resort. That's a last resort. But you know what? It's a resort that's going to happen.
And what they're saying to the people who run the game is, put it this: that they want the people who are running the game to fall on their swords. Okay. That's what they want to happen.